Alright, you guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at another round 2 matchup here. It's going to be Jumpluff versus Vikavolt. Let's talk about the matchup here. I think it's very much in favor of Jumpluff, but primarily because Jumpluff is probably one of the best decks, if not the best deck in the format, but also because of the EX trade. Vikavolt does, it has the Vikavolt on the bench, which 150 HP is kind of hard for Jumpluff to hit, so it might not one-shot the Vikavolt, but at the same time, there are some other EXs to kill. Something like a Raikou is fairly easy to kill. Full benches on both sides with mass attack can kill that. If they go for like Shaman late game, it's 2 prizes. What other EXs are in there? Tropius, not a big deal, but it's mostly just like the lightning Pokemon. So like there's Zapdos. What else is in the Vikavolt deck? Coco is kind of a more tricky one for Jumpluff to deal with, I suppose. But yeah, Jumpluff definitely just has an advantage because of the prize trade. So the way that Vikavolt is going to have to win is it's basically just going to have to like temper the aggression with disruption, kind of maybe take knockouts on support Pokemon, maybe timely hexes, timely ends, that sort of thing. It's just gonna have to temper, because that's what it is, you know. What is it? What is it? Jumpluff is kind of an aggressive deck, so it just, as long as you can like stave that off a little bit, then the deck is much more easy to deal with. That was a sentence. That was an English sentence. Anyways, double Spiritomb start here. Nothing too surprising. Looks like I will take a Lysander on the Claydol, maybe just a stall. And looks like I'm downloading Lysander here, just kind of an extra stall tactic. Not getting out the Skiploom, because obviously I have a bad hand if my 2 supporters were Lysander and Marlies. So, just kind of trying to stall Gritty out here. Hopefully he doesn't draw anything to get out of the active. Something like a Lysander, Guzma, AZ, that sort of thing. The Lysander play would only be if he's also got a Float Stone in his hand or something like that. So, kind of hoping that the Claydol stays in the active here so I can have some extra turns to set up. As long as Vikavolt doesn't come down, I'm totally fine, right? So, I did show my hand there. I have teammates in the hand, so the Spiritomb dying is not the worst thing in the world, just because it would set up a rare candy Jumpluff play. But a Judge is what hits the field as the second supporter. Greedy did already use Download, so this Judge is actually not the worst for me ever, because it is sticking his Claydol in the active, and he doesn't have a not Charger Bug, but a what's the other basic? He doesn't have it in the bench, or on the bench, so. Broken Time Space and a Sycamore coming down. Let's see if we can get some Jumpluffs going on this turn. There's another Hoppip down. If we can just get some Skiplooms, that'd be great. Looks like we're setting up for a Cosmic Power here. Not hitting a lot, so it might just be a Darkness Grace, yep. I did see I think that was a Jumpluff in my hand, so we'll be able to get that next turn, as well as maybe play some cool supporter. But as long as we have an energy in my hand, which I think I did see, we're going to be able to retreat and knock out the Claydol if it can't get out of the active. Item lock is very hard for, it's going to be very hard for him to deal with, especially with such a low hand since he judged. So it's going to be just a Claydol in the active. And let's see what supporter Grady is going to play. Like I said, he needs a Guzma, Lysander, and a Switch, or that AZ here. But a Marley's Request is going to be the answer. So it's a Judge or a Beyblade. And just very, very rough. Looks like I'm choosing... Looks like I chose Beyblade. There's some confusion there. I think what I said is I didn't realize how many cards you didn't have in your hand, and that's why I said go for the Beyblade. On the Beyblade here is just going to probably grab him a Uxie? Nope, we'll grab the Grubbin, and that's a pass, so it will be an attach. We're going to replace the Stadium so Greedy can't use it. Retreat to get the item lock, and like I said, I'm looking for just an evolution, so this will be a Skiploom. Just a really, really commanding spot right now. Grady's response next turn, he's going to need a lot in order to get some sort of knockout here. that looked like an item finder in that hand, so if I had some sort of scoop up effect, which I think I've discarded, well, we're not even going to go for another setup. We're saying the one Jumpluff's good enough. So there's the Grubbin. Grady's going to play some more cards down. Ooh, yeah, that's the one way to disrupt that item lock. That item lock from the Zip Striker actually will be big towards the mid stages of the game. But Grady's supporters are just not great right now, and me taking out that Claydol might actually hurt him. The early Grubbin not hitting the field is also kind of an issue. I mean, this turn it will be kind of an option if Grady does hit a lightning energy of some sort. I will have to choose between taking the Grubbin and taking the Coco. But instead, Grady will just retreat and probably use that on either the... I'd say probably the... Ooh, actually, that's a rough decision. So we will go for the Charge Bug. And if I can get some sort of way to knock out that Charge Bug, we're in business. I don't think I'll get it unless... Yeah, so just the Floatstone off of that, and we're just going to take the knockout, but that's fine because we're going up 2-0 in a deck that's just going to trade really well. Grady's supporter for the turn is AZ. He downloaded that, so he's probably going to grab teammates with the second supporter. And the teammates would probably go for the Vikavolt and maybe an energy so that he can get the Coco online and get the return KO. I think that might be a good line of play, unless Grady has some sort of other option here. I don't really know what's in his hand, so I can't say what he does and doesn't have. Hopefully we'll be able to find out here. Yeah, so many cards are in my hand. I got a whole bunch. I'll be able to get, like, next turn if he gets... Oh, so we're going for the Culver's actually instead of the teammates. So Grady's going to have to... He's looking to dig more, I suppose. If Grady misses a knockout here, it's almost all but over just in the first couple turns, because I'll get the other Jumpluff down on the bench, maybe a Hoppip, some energies down, just ready to go. Looks like I have a Gust of Wind and a Floatstone and an Item Finder in my hand, so I'm basically going to be able to kill whatever I want to kill next turn. And probably that Baltoy. Let's see. Nope, he's benching the Baltoy here. Ultra Ball comes down, so that'll grab the Vikavolt, most likely. And the Vikavolt will be able to charge up something for a knockout. If it's not the Coco, it will at least be the Raikou, because he can go Lightning Energy, Grass Energy onto the Raikou. And that's what it's looking like he's going to do. The other Jumpluff, in order to knock him out, would need a Muscle Band, since I already took those 2 early prizes. And Grady will split it, actually, in terms of his attachments. And I was like, dude, this is a knockout anyways. Why don't you just touch the Lightning Energies there? So, yep. Grady will go here, and the 90 damage from the Raikou will be a knockout. Grady taking his first prizes. I'm going to either need the Jumpluff to come back out, or I will need to get the other one plus a Muscle Band or a Hex. And if I can get that, then I'll take a, 7-4 lead in that scenario. But Grady will take his first prize of the game, promoting the Skip Loom. Let's see how fast I get this out of the way. So that swoop will go for a Hoppip. Just kind of trying to set up here. And then there's the Jumpluff. Counting some stuff up, and I'm saying, what can I do here? Do I have enough to knock you out with Mass Attack? So I will grab the 4th Hoppip. This deck does play like a weird, like 4-3-3 line, I think it is. I don't know if it's 4-3-3. But yeah, we are going for the Hoppip. I just need some form of recovery card, which I might already have. Yep, so the Karina will grab a Rescue Stretcher, most likely, or a Pokemon Retriever. Are we considering... Oh, Revitalizer, maybe? Maybe I was considering Revitalizer. That would be just a little bit better of an option, but get the Retriever for that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I need one more Pokemon or a Hex for the knockout. And there's a Bebe Search, so that'll do it there. As a second supporter. Yep, Bebe's will grab probably that Spinnerack that I saw earlier. And maybe an energy, or maybe an Uxie for next turn. So Spinnerack and an energy, Spinnerack and the Uxie, sorry. Ooh, no, the Porygon. We're going to go a little greedy, apparently. So the Porygon comes down. I don't really need to bench any of that stuff. Nope. I guess I needed it. Maybe I miscalculated. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. See, I'm already at a knockout, but I guess I'm just kind of going, maybe this will go for a Hex here. Or a Goop. Maybe just trying to extend. Yeah, there's the Goop. Just trying to really put Grady in such a bad position. Yeah, there's the energy removal coupled with it. So basically what I'm doing here is just shutting off the Vikavolt and taking the Coco knockout offline, so that basically next turn I'm guaranteed the knockout with Jumpluff on kind of whatever I want. At this point, the tempo of Jumpluff is just really hard for Vikavolt to keep up with. He could do some sort of item lock, he could try to snipe, but the energies just aren't there. That's the problem. So there's an energy coming down the Baltoy. Just gets moved up. Let's see what he can get off of this, but it might just be 20 on everything and a Hex back. So that's signaling he doesn't have a whole lot, and the Flying Flip is the answer. So we'll take another knockout. If I can find myself a Hex some way, shape, or form, it'll just all but over. So the item finder comes down for the Versus Secret for Hex and a knockout. So I hexed him back. Grady has no energies on field. I'm down to 3 prizes to his 7. Just the aggressive tempo of Jumpluff is going to be enough to just cap this game. If you look, Grady's got a Marley's, he's got a Lysander. He's going to go for a Lysander stall here. And there is a pass right on back. So if I can get away out of the active and a Hex, this game will just be straight over. So Cosmic Power to start it off is not a great sign. Usually you want to use that like a mid-turn, but put the Computer Search to the top of the deck, so we are going to Dowsing Machine. For the Computer Search, this will most likely grab... Escape Rope wouldn't have done anything. I kind of would have liked, actually, yeah, Floatstone would have worked. Escape Rope, he probably would have just promoted Lapras, so... Blitzel's a little bit more of a high priority. Now if I can find a way to Hex as well this turn, even better. Oh, no, maybe we are taking something back. Let's see. So I computer searched, so I'm thinking about grabbing something else? Question mark? Oh no, we are grabbing Guzma. Wow, actually that's way better. So it looks like I am taking the Porygon, and then the trump card will be the second card. So instead of Hex, we are going to trump card, so that next turn we'll be able to start getting some stuff out. Hopefully the last card in my hand is something that I can draw cards with. But we are taking this to 1. Oh, that was actually the only card in my hand. I would go down to 0 cards, which is really sketchy, because if he takes a Claydol knockout, maybe not. Because if he takes a Claydol knockout, it's not the worst thing in the world, just because I would keep the Jumpluff on field. That Floatstone can't be attached there. There you go. It's an EX. The Vikavolt is an EX, so if I can get like some sort of knockout onto the Vikavolt next turn, then it's just game over, because I have 2 prizes left, as opposed to his 7. And like I said, this entire game is basically just a tempo game. Really rough for Grady to deal with, just this unmatched aggression. That's probably signaling... I would have liked to see the Colress first, actually, because Grady's now just banking off this swoop rather than... Because, if he misses it, or if he had some sort of switch, he would have wished those energy has gone somewhere else. So we'll see what Grady can rip off this. Worst comes to worst, he will retreat and use agility if he's got the energy. Looks like Grady's keeping those over there. Looks like I had a rare candy and something else. So hard telling what the other card was. So see, there's the item lock, and he had a Floatstone. So if Grady had gotten some form of would retreat off of that, he would have been fine. Like I said, I think he Vikavolted a little too soon. So the scuba play is nice though, because it keeps him alive for at least one more turn. It means that I can't Lysander or Guzma up the Vikavolts for a game. Looks like I drew into Verbank Laser. So that's really good there. Grady was looking for some sort of Porygon 2 to maybe drop some more cards. Even a Lightning Energy so he could agility here. But it's looking like nothing. I think Grady's asking if he could change something. Oh no, he's pointing at the 2 energies, and he's wondering why he attached those there. Because I told him, yeah, he just threw his hand down in frustration. He just says, look, I think I'm donezo. So Grady could go for an agility here, I think. But it's slim pickings. He could drop the Coco and attach to it too. I think that might be what he's thinking about here. But it is a retreat, so yeah, the Coco and attachment, so he could just try to do Coco spread over and over again. That could be an option for him. The Automach's going to be kind of big. This will be a Pokemon Collector, most likely for a Lapras for some sort of Lysander play. This could definitely be that, or I'm just trying to thin. So there's the Lapras, and the other two are just thins. And I think I just want to take the knockout on the Coco. I don't want him to like run into this spread situation. I think that might be the best route. And then he changes the energy. That's fine. So Lapras comes down here. Ooh, yeah, Lapras. Oh, we're gonna go ahead and use this first, just in case I hit something cool. So there's the energy, and then the Lapras. I didn't realize I didn't have the energy. Forgot that you removed last turn. So yeah, that will be a Lysander. I'm gonna take the Blitzel this time now, which is a little bit scary because that Coco could come up and start spreading me, especially if he takes like some sort of Lysander play. If he goes Lysander N. So Grady is probably debating an N here and hoping to hit DCE Gust of Wind onto the Claydol. DCE and Goop maybe. I think that would be Grady's best line of play. So instead of the AZ, he actually takes the Scoop Up, takes the Dowsing on the Scoop Up, and I think that's the right play there, so he can still play a second supporter. But Grady will just try to pin something in the active, and if he can get a couple spreads off, I don't have very much HP, so Grady opting for the Teammates, which is pretty smart on his part. That'll probably grab one of those Elite Four cards, either the Goop or the Gust of Wind, and maybe an N, or some way to at least use an N. Or not the N, but the Rockets. So there's an Uxie. So actually he's got an Iris in that hand of his. So that's the line of play Grady is going with, is going to go for some sort of Iris play, probably with Uxie into the Spirit Tomb for item lock. Just knowing that because the Jumpluff into the discard pile, the only way we're recovering it is an item recovery based. So if there will be the Iris into the item lock, that's going to be very hard for me to recover this Jumpluff now. So how am I going to get a knockout? If I can get some sort of Lysander or Guzma play, that would be what I'm looking for, and then recover it somehow. Trump card's already gone, so I don't have a non-item way of recovering that. So Grady will buy himself a turn here if I'm not able to get a knockout. There's a Beyblade that might help. That might grab me the area dose to poison him. That could be the option there. So we'll see. Yep, the area dose will come down, so I will poison him and put him kind of on a clock. And then the Jumpluff, is going to do what, 20 damage or something like that? Yeah. Yeah, so I am kind of putting him on the clock, saying, "Look, dude, you got to retreat." And Grady is determining, okay, do I need to scoop this up this turn? What do I need to do? Grubbin does come down. That will be his option for the late game victory. I think Grady's real strategy here is going to be some sort of flipping over and over again. But if he doesn't get out of the active, I will retreat and impound him. So he will AZ knowing like, hey, I have to do this. I have to get out of the active. Because it will just go to straight knockout. Swoop Teleporter onto the Porygon. Looks like it's grabbing the Baltoy. Hopefully he's got a way to recover that, so he's got the Claydol coming out. Let's see, he's got a Super Rod, so maybe he's got a Searching card in there as well, so he can grab the Claydol out. He is fighting, he's scrapping back. And that's really his only options here. Grady doing some thinking there. It will be an Evo Soda, so that will grab the Claydol to draw him some more cards. He still has one more supporter. The AZ was the only one used. So the Spirit Tomb comes down. Don't know how he got that back out. Because he's... Oh no, he scooped it up. Sorry, he didn't swoop it. He swooped something else. He scooped it. So I think I see a Hex in his hand. That might be what he's going for. Nope, a Beyblade would be the second supporter. I thought I saw a Hex in his hand. That might have been something else. With Beyblades, I don't know what he would grab. Because the Uxie's not gone, right? Because he swooped something else. So the Uxie is still alive. He could Uxie. So it actually will be a Charge-a-Bug. And it's going to be the retreat and the item lock. Into the GX. Ooh, boy, this is scary. If he can get that GX attack off, he will wipe my board. So I'm going to Iris. I'm trying to think of math here. 1, 2. The Iris in pound and poison damage is actually a knockout. So yeah, it will be a retreat. poison and knock out with a Jumpluff. So it was really scary because that GX was going to come up and just start bopping me. So good thing I had the Iris for the game there. But yeah, that's how that matchup worked. It was just a tempo game. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, have a good one.